And then your Guardians pregame get going shortly after 6:30. 7:10 is your first pitch tonight. They start off the weekend series here at home against the LA Angels. I recently started following. I thought that I already had been, but then they stopped in here about a week ago and took a couple of pictures with me. The Cleveland hot dogs were in, and I didn't realize that I wasn't following them on social media.
Oh, they're a fun follow.
They're a fun follow. Again, I am Team Mustard. Our own Mary Santora is more of an FU Mustard type person, but I'm fully Team Mustard over there with the Cleveland Guardians hot dogs.
I'm also Team Mustard.
Yeah. That's just how I was raised. We're in a mustard family. And but it's not for everyone. For everyone. By the way, next Wednesday, it'll be our second Alan Cox Show night on the Cleveland Funny Bus. We just saw it drive here about an hour ago, a daytime tour on the Cleveland Funny Bus. We had our inaugural one on Wednesday night. I was your host. It was a blast. If you join us, Bill is going to host for you this coming Wednesday. And we're doing it every Wednesday in May, probably beyond that. But for now, every Wednesday in May, you can join us for a 90-minute tour. And they have very funny comics over there who are kind of your tour guide. But if Bill gets to do what I got to do, you'll occasionally jump in.
I think that's
and
what
get
I'll be
people
doing,
hip to what they're passing and what they're seeing.
Yeah.
And you can always learn something about your own town here.
It's fun and funny and educational.
And informative.
And BYOB.
BYOB, yeah. Well, it starts and ends at Collision Bend Brewing down there in the Flats, too. So you'll get a ticket for a couple of pops, and that's the best part, too. So, because they have a lot of great beers over there. I was having a chocolate peanut butter porter.
That's a good beer.
That was doing me right on the bus. So anyway, funnybus.net is where you want to go. We're starting off with every Wednesday in May. This coming week, the tickets for this go very quickly, too. This coming Wednesday, Bill will be your host. By the way, congratulations to, in a weird way of tying both of the mustard and beer worlds together, Collision Bend winning some mustard awards. Well, kind of, did you know that there was a worldwide mustard competition?
Yeah,
Are you aware of that?
Everyone knows that. So
I didn't know
the
that.
biggest things. How do you not know this?
I don't know how I don't know that. Like I said, I was raised in a mustard family. I don't know how I was ignorant of the WWMC 23 from the National Mustard Museum, but they just had their big winners. And Collision Bend is a part of that because one of the winning mustards is infused with the Seatown Double IPA from Collision Bend.
Oh, nice.
And then they throw in some pickled jalapenos, and there's some lime, and that's how you get this winning, whoever won best whole grain mustard, Old Brooklyn mustard. So congratulations to them. I was fully ignorant of the worldwide mustard competition. They've got winners in American Yellow, exotic, very hot, whole seed mustards. I don't know where they hold this, but I would very much like to attend this sometime in the future because they get people from around the world to compete. New Zealand and Poland and Slovenia. I'll tell you what, if you're new to the game, if you've never had Slovenian mustard, man, get ready for your life to change. The National Mustard Museum is in Middleton, Wisconsin. Do we have any bureau chiefs in Middleton, Wisconsin? You got to hit me up and let me know. This is probably the biggest thing that they got going on there. It's right on the shores of Lake Mendota, right outside Madison, Wisconsin. We've all been to Madison before.
Yes,
You've
I
played
love Madison.
there.
Yeah, it's a great place.
To date people from Madison, UW. So I don't know how old the Mustard Museum is. Poundcake's probably never been to Madison, Wisconsin, but
Nope.
it might be worth going. Right there on the lake. And Madison's a fun town. You know, they call it the Mad City. But it's a college town. it's like any other. Most college towns don't have a giant lake in the middle of them, but that just makes it more fun. You head up 151, get right up there on the Beaver Dam. And that's fun, too. Did you read it all about the Swiss village where they're telling everyone to leave because a mountain might fall and crush the whole town?
Whoa.
Imagine you've got this literally hanging over your head. There's a small village in Switzerland called Brinz, if that's how you pronounce it. My Swiss is rusty. They've been told to get out. This is a town of only 60 year-round residents. There's some tourism there because the countryside is beautiful, but fewer than 100 people live there year-round. So it's a tiny mountain town. And there is a large chunk of a mountain that they say is unstable. And they said there's a few, they're recommending people leave because they go, we don't know how this is going to happen. There might be a rock slide, which is not unusual for a place like that. They're like, there might be a rock slide. It might fall in small pieces. It wouldn't really do any damage. It might fall kind of like lava, like a honey coming down. It might fall that way.
Like a trickle.
Like a trickle.
But a trickle of rocks, which is,
right.
That's not great.
But they said, but there is a 10% chance. Now, this depends on how seriously you want to take the odds, because 10% odds are pretty, you would take those odds.
Can we make a bet on FanDuel?
You'd stay put. I don't know if FanDuel has got the odds on it, but they said there's a 1 in 10 chance that the mountaintop rock will come down all at once in one piece and destroy the town. So they said, the people who live in this town said that they thought they had more time. They said, listen, we're used to huge boulders coming down the mountainside into our gardens and crap. But like they've got a 500-year-old altar in their local church. They're moving that out. So people in this town are like, well, what do we do? I mean, do we move?
I think you got to wait it out.
Yeah, but how do you know? It's not like it's going to pass. If it's unstable, it's going to stay unstable. So
Make
how
it
do
more
you
stable?
Put a scaffolding up there?
Yeah. You got to build stuff, right?
I guess so.
Where's this at again?
Brinz, Switzerland. There's a huge mountain there that could fall on the entire town. And they say that it will collapse or slide in the next week to 3 weeks. And the residents have been told that if they leave, they should expect to be away for months. So, see, fortunately, say what you want about the topography of Ohio, but this isn't something that we've got to concern ourselves with. We don't have to concern ourselves with giant mountains falling into our towns.
No, but I do have to worry about erosion because I have a cliffside condo, and we're always getting updates on how they're trying to prevent erosion from that cliff falling into Lake Erie. It's not anywhere near doing that, but they know that it could be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all like, we got an email yesterday that said, if you see any gopher holes in the back courtyard area, let us know immediately, because those can be big problems, because those can really accelerate the erosion process.
What Bill is asking us to do, dear listener, is to sympathize with his high-rise lakefront penthouse condo.
I'm just saying I can sympathize
with
these people that have a mountain that might fall on them.
Yes.
I might fall into the lake at some point.
The lap of luxury.
Mm-hmm.
None of us, like I said, none of us can identify with that. Bill Squire can, because Squifle Tower, if you've ever heard it described, is in a very precarious situation. There's already garages that are collapsing over there. I don't know if that's because of gopher holes. That wasn't your building.
That was not my building, and that was not.
Was that a gopher hole situation?
Was not gopher hole related, as far as I know. I don't know if they're trying to keep some stuff from us. But it could be gopher hole related.
So you suspect that maybe there's a cover up?
I mean, I just want answers.
Right.
I don't think anybody's asked that question, but I would
Is
like
this
an
gopher
answer.
hole
Is
related?
it gopher hole related? Because now I've heard a lot more about gopher holes since that happened than any other time in my life.
Listen, none of us obviously want you or your belongings or your domicile to fall into the lake. But, Bill's up there breathing rarefied air. He's part of the 1%.
No, I mean, I'm not that.
In his high-rise lakefront condo.
I'm just a regular guy with
Meanwhile,
a nice
the rest
condo.
of us are down here living on the ground.
Hey.
Living on the ground.
I'm on the ground most of my day.
All right.
I'm on the ground most of the day.
What if
when it's time to go to sleep, I'm up high in the sky.
Does your building sway at all in a wind? Is it?
No, it's
probably not that tall, right?
It's not that tall. It's only, 10 stories isn't. You're not gonna get real sway type situation. But where was I? I was somewhere where the building was swaying, and it is unnerving.
Oh, the very first radio station I worked for when I was an intern 30 years ago was in the John Hancock building in Chicago. And we were on, that's like a 102-story building or something. We were on the 34th floor. And buildings of that size, obviously, are constructed, especially in a place like Chicago, they are constructed so that they will have a little bit of give to the architecture, right? But that is exactly the word to use. It is unnerving to be in a building that is swaying because you can hear a little bit of the creaking.
Yep.
And that was a partially residential building, too. That's where Chris Farley lived and died. That's where they found him, was in his condo in the Hancock building. He was up on like 66 or something, I think. Oprah lived there for a while. But to be up that high.
Yeah, you're going to have some swaying.
Yes. Hey, Drunk Sue.
Hey.
I'm always glad to hear. I'm always glad to. Speaking of gopher holes, I'm always glad when Drunk Sue pops up because she calls. She called a few days ago, but not everybody can hear when she calls or they're not listening, and so there are people who will hit me up who haven't heard Sue on the show for a while, and they get worried. So I'm always glad when she pops her head back up and people go, "Oh my God!" And I'm happy to tell them, "Oh, she called a couple of days ago. You'll hear it in the podcast." But
Well, I just want to ask, what did you say, Sweden? What's wrong with a little bit of rock and roll, baby?
Well, I think that's a little different than a mountain possibly destroying your town. A
mountain is nothing but a bunch of rocks piled on top of one another.
Is that what a mountain is?
Pyramid.
Okay, well, I'm no geologist, so I'll take your word for it. But listen, apparently it is serious enough to collect their 500-year-old altar and tell the people of this town, hey, you might want to get out.
Oh, I would. I ain't going to sit there and wait till the last minute. Hell, stand a no.
What if they told you, hey, Sue, your place there in Canton happens to be on the middle of over a giant fault line. There's tectonic plates that are going to be exerting force in each other, and its epicenter is at Casa Sue. And they said, you got to get the hell out of here. Do you go down with a ship, or do you split?
I say what will be, will be.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving this house. This is my end-of-life house.
Yeah, but what will be could include you finding a place that you won't get killed by.
Oh, yeah.
You're not helpless. I mean, what will be could be you getting out of there.
Well, this is probably true.
I mean, people don't think it be like it be, but it's...
Remember that joke when the guy was stranded out in the ocean and a dolphin came by? It said, can I jump on my back? I'll take you to safety. And he said, no, the Lord's going to save me.
Yeah.
Remember that joke?
Yeah, he goes, I sent you a helicopter and a dolphin, and he's up there in heaven, and I sent you all this crap, and you didn't take me up on it. Yeah.
I know, right?
Well, that could be, right. Yeah.
Well, hey, I want to do a quick shout-out to Drea. She lives up in Cleveland there.
Oh, okay, and who is she to you?
I catch her on the talk when we're talking on the
live stream
from the live stream chat.
Live stream.
Oh,
yeah,
Sue is in the live chat?
Yeah, pretty much every day.
Oh, okay.
She's very active in there.
Yeah.
All right. Now, are you referring to the lovely Drea De Matteo from The Sopranos? Is that who's in the live chat, Bill?
I don't
The
believe
actress?
it's her.
Oh, no.
I don't know that it's that, but I'm not going to give you your last name. You can look on Snapchat and find out.
Yeah, it wouldn't mean anything to me anyway. Okay, but aren't you already talking to her in the chat?
Yeah, she said she was going to listen because I said, that's it. I'm going to call.
Right.
She was, okay, I'll be listening.
Oh, I see.
So I just wanted to give her a quick
shouting out here instead of talking to her by typing.
Well, I could have done that.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm sure
I could have did that, but I bet she got a smile on her face.
Sure, why not?
And I asked her, I said, you going on the bus? Because, I mean, she's already up there. Why don't she get on the bus?
On the funny bus?
Yes.
Why don't you come up for that, Sue?
Oh,
I know you're a little infirmed, but, it'd be a good time.
I know it would. I wouldn't want to take all the credits away from, like, that one guy you were saying last Wednesday or something.
Intense Randy? Yeah, yeah.
Intense Randy. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
he makes it the Randy show when he's around. He's probably going to come back next week for Bill's hosting.
Cool.
Oh, speaking of Bill.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill.
Yo.
Last Friday I called in, and I like to hear what I said. I like to replay it or whatever. Why? Well, because I do. So anyway, how come the last episode on Friday isn't available?
Because there was a song that was played that was blocked by YouTube, so I had to edit it out, and the processing takes a very long time. So it should be up there by now, but it's
okay.
It's one of those things where there's certain songs that
YouTube
YouTube has
one
blocked.
Video unavailable.
Yeah. I edited it I think Monday, and it should be up there now. I
thought maybe you was being a hater.
No, I'm never doing
okay.
anything like that.
All right, thank you, Sue. There's Sue there, Drunk Sue in Canton, checking in. Being a hater because you had to edit something? Is that?
No, she thought maybe I didn't like her call, and so I would edit her out.
Oh, she was only concerned because it's a segment she was in.
Exactly, yes.
Oh, yeah, no, we don't. Trust me, if we were editing people out, this show would be half an hour long. All right, I've got to take a break. If you want those Bill Maher tickets as promised, 1 week from tomorrow night, he's back in Cleveland to do that show at MGM Northfield Park. So I'll get you my last pair this week. Coming back, 35192 if you want to text for anything else.
It's the Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS. And everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio app.
Weekdays on 100.7 WMMS.